What we want to kind of focus on here today is the transition to entrepreneurship. There's a lot of nuance to that conversation when they're talking about saving and also replacing that 9-to-5 income.
Can you actually afford to take that opportunity and jeopardize something based upon the passion for the demographic that you serve, or based upon a key internal feeling that you have, and you know that you want to be able to really go out in the world and really take the opportunity to make sure that you're able to serve your community. But how do you support yourself? I mean, all the people around the world, different cultures, different languages, different skill sets. Take that advantage and take that time. But like I said, all you need is 1 hour just to kind of get the engine revving. Make that a requirement. And then at that point, you make it 2, and then you make it 3. And then at that point, now you have a full-time job.
Hello, welcome to the Prepare to Compete podcast, where we talk all things VA benefits, real estate, entrepreneurship, and more. Kenneth Davis, how you feeling today, my brother?
Oh man, I'm blessed and highly favored. Just enjoying the turn of the weather finally, and ready to help veterans and go ahead and make sure that we're continuously educating, but also making sure that we're navigate all these conversations here that's going to be upcoming. So excited.
Absolutely. On the #1 show for veterans on YouTube. Thank you for all of your support. We cannot do it without you. Continue to support. Continue to like, comment, subscribe. Give us any feedback on any type of topics you would like to see. We're learning and growing together. So let's continue to build this community on here. And also we have some new exciting updates for you still to come in regards to some other communities we'll be building for the veterans. Today, I actually wanted to kind of revisit some different conversations that we had earlier on in regards to entrepreneurship, right? And talking about transitioning. You know, in the military, you have a lot of transitions. You transition rank, you transition in and out of service, you're relocating, a lot of different things of that nature. But what we want to kind of focus on here today is the transition to entrepreneurship.
No, and I agree with you. Deviating from that intended plan, a lot of times I think sometimes it's where just people in general fail, right? A lot of times they say, hey, we need a plan A, plan B, plan C. Yeah, just because you have a plan B and plan C means no reason that plan A shouldn't work as long as you're doing your part. So as long as you're doing your part, plan A is going to work. And there is no plan B, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. A wise man once said, my plan B is to make my plan A work.
True indeed. It's easier said than done when we're talking about things, right? We can do so much communication in regards to how you navigate things, but most people are afraid to make their plan A work, and I think that's a huge point. Fear, right? Fear is crippling to most, and also insightful for some. And what I mean by that is fear will hold back the masses, right? Hold back the masses. But when we're talking about fear, it can be so insightful and also so much growth within that challenge that you overcome. So when you're talking about navigating these ebbs and flows, how do you learn from those?
You know, one of the kind of key issues that we spoke about was needing to have 6 months of savings prior to leaving your employer. And I wanted to kind of unpack that a lot more. You know, obviously for some people, it may not be realistic to save that amount, right? And also, it really just kind of depends on your employer and the environment that you're in, right? Because, you know, sometimes you might be in a situation where you're making, you know, 6 figures plus, and now you have a decision to make, right? But if you're somebody that, you know, hey, you're working at Chipotle or something like that, right? You're making $15, $16 an hour. It may make your decision to leave your employer a lot sooner, a lot easier, a lot sooner, because you're not making that much money on a job, right?
One of the, I think, key pillars that holds a lot of people back, right? Understanding how you're going to provide financial support. The financial support typically should come from, you know, all that double time work that you've put in while on your job. or working on your business that's while on your job, and you have provided and you've saved up because you have saved up for the moment to have that opportunity to say, hey, today's the day and I'm leaving, right? But a lot of times money is very, it's a in and out the door. It's a revolving door at the times on a regular basis, and we talk about the steps, the Dave Ramsey steps, all the time here. For most people, that is a lot of key success on how you build financial wealth. Well, why can't we use those same pillars to be able to build your time or your nest egg to figure out your exit plan? Right. So it becomes very difficult when we're trying to navigate that, because a lot of times everyone has different how should I say, different priorities, whether if it's financial spending, whether if it's family at home, whether if you're the breadwinner of the house. Can you actually afford to take that opportunity and jeopardize something based upon the passion for the demographic that you serve, or based upon a key internal feeling that you have, and you know that you want to be able to really go out in the world and really take the opportunity to make sure that you're able to serve your community. But how do you support yourself, right? Is 6 months enough? We don't know. Is a year enough? We don't know. Enough is when you're ready to go, but also stability can be intertwined inside of that. But fear can be crippling and cripple you to that point. So it gets very difficult. It gets a very difficult decision.
Especially if you're working for, a decent organization where most people are making that their actual career, right? Mm-hmm. When, you could be working in a blue collar job, or it could be, in a corporate office. Everybody is going to be in that position for the next 20, 30 years. They have a certain mindset. You have an entrepreneurial spirit, and it's pushing against each other. You cannot stay in that environment and expect your business to grow past a certain point. So again, only you know that, but I can definitely say sometimes staying in your job too long can be toxic, just because they're not going to understand you. And sometimes once they know you start having some success in business, they're going to try to make that even harder for you, because they don't want you to be working at 9 to 5 and then have that 6 to 10 as well, after hours working on your business, right? They want you to just be, fully committed to that.
What are you doing in the opportunity at a time when you are deployed and you have that free time to save money, to have the opportunity to build a business, to have an opportunity to get your education, to have an opportunity to self-develop, and also create more networking connections? If I'm mistaken, please correct me. But I don't know another fraternity that transitions out about 200,000 people annually that can provide you access that you have never thought. I mean, all the people around the world, different cultures, different languages, different skill sets, different everything. Take that advantage and take that time. But like I said, all you need is 1 hour just to kind of get the engine revving. Make that a requirement. And then at that point, you make it 2, and then you make it 3. And then at that point, now you have a full-time job.
It's really just having that concrete plan and understanding and utilizing those resources around you, and understanding what your ultimate goal is. So if your ultimate goal is to build wealth, then you don't want to do that alone, right? You want to either establish your own team or join a team, but you often want to, build that table, right? So is it going to be hard if you're trying to go and sit at somebody else's table? Yes. Even in a 9 to 5 space, that's hard enough because you're sitting at somebody else's table, right? So, go ahead and, do what you need to do in order to figure out, are you going to build a table and people are going to come, or is somebody else going to grant you a seat at their table?
If you're dealing with a team, right? You're not always right. You're not always going to make the right decision. And frankly, you are definitely not by yourself. And ego makes you not understand that. All right? Use your right mind, use your right sense. Understand, as an entrepreneur, you're last. Everyone else is first. Those people you serve are going to be number one. If you do that, that decision to be able to jump ship to go somewhere else, you will never have any worries because you're there to serve, and you can serve millions in many forms, not just within a business, but in other forms that can create further income and further successes for you on an ongoing basis.
Absolutely. Focus on getting 1% better each day. Prepare to compete. We out. Peace.